whistle through the rocks. All the bubbling, glub, glubbling, all the little hisses, all the little pops as I'm kicking it and listening. Heard a whippoorwill shrill, crickets kicking it. I heard a few frogs ribbing it as I'm kicking it and listening. All the pip pip pattering and the click click clattering of the water and the rocks, working on the matter as I'm kicking it and listening. Caught my eye, I realize I was in my mind's eye as I'm kicking it and listening. The shish and the sis. If I listen well, I hear the clucking on the sipping and the skipping. If I listen well, I hear this as I'm kicking it and listening.
Okay, thank you. That was Whipple. And most of you know Whipple as our brother from another planet, father of Kachina, an inimitable community member who can make music on just about anything. So thank you, Whipple, for opening our show with us. And here we are on occupied Mechoopda territory, bringing you the Uplift Community event. And most of you know that it's been a rough year. And we've no open mics, very little live music, no music festivals, no Touch of Chico. And so we're bringing you the Uplift Community event as a way of getting us through this, because KZFR has been at the center of our community during this time. We know that it's been an invaluable part of getting us through this time. And you know that when you turn on KZFR, you're going to be able to hear what's happening in your community. You're going to be able to hear the news. You're going to get updated on what's going on with the people experiencing homelessness in our community, and so much more. And you're going to hear great music of many different kinds. So KZFR is people-powered radio, and that means that if you can, you need to support it. And hopefully you can take a minute while you're watching this show to go to kzfr.org, hit that donate button, and send a little or send a lot, whatever you can. We'll be grateful for that, and KZFR will keep on keeping on. Next up, we're going to have Teresa Dwelch, who is going to lead us in meditation. And then immediately after that, we have Karen Ann, who will take us through some Qigong movements. And if you don't know, Qigong is a ancient Chinese form of exercise, and Karen Ann teaches Qigong and also Tai Chi, and she'll get you up and moving. So here they are, Teresa and then Karen Ann.
Let's begin with a gentle invitation to get comfortable in your seat, relaxing your legs, finding your sit bones, elongating your spine, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your arms, your hands gently in your lap, allowing your breath to deepen. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes, allowing your breath to deepen. And breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And as your breath deepens, let your belly be soft and relaxed. If your belly is soft and relaxed, your breath travels to the bottom of your lungs where oxygen exchange is best. If your belly is soft, then the vagus nerve, which promotes relaxation, is activated. If your belly is soft and all the muscles around your belly are relaxed, then all the muscles in your entire body begin to relax. And to promote this process, you can say to yourself, soft, as you breathe in, and belly, as you breathe out. Soft, belly. Soft, belly. Soft, belly. And if thoughts come, let them come, and then let them go. Returning to your breath and to this moment, soft, belly, this moment, soft, belly, this moment. And as you find yourself relaxed, find your sit bones, elongate your spine, relax your shoulders and arms and hands. And down from your spine, drop a root down through your seat and into the floor, through the seat, through the floor, dropping that root through the ground, into the ground, through the rocks to water, cool and refreshing. And then pass the water down to the center of the earth, to the molten core, where there is motion and fluidity. Resting in the motion and in fluidity. Soft belly, this moment. And then find your consciousness gently riding up through the root, back up to the water, the water cool and refreshing. Your root soaking up the water. Traveling back up the root through the ground, through the rocks, through the nutrient-rich soil, soaking in the nutrients, traveling back up through the ground, through the floor, through your chair, back up through your spine, and up through the top of your head, leaves facing upwards, flowers blooming, branching out towards the sun, soaking in the rays of the sun, and then gently back down, back to your center, to your soft belly. And this moment, soft belly, and this moment. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, gently open your eyes with a soft, gentle, unfocused gaze, allowing your environment to come back in, you part of your environment, feeling grounded and feeling at peace.
I'm Karen. I'll be going through some Qigong exercise with you today. If everyone could please stand. Qigong exercise is primarily concerned with energy flow through the body. The exercises I'll be going over with you today are from Shibashi Set 1 by Master Wing Chun. In the standing position, your feet should be about shoulder width apart, and they should be very firmly grounded on the earth. Your knees should be slightly bent, your tailbone slightly bent. At the same time, try and elongate your spine as if you were being pulled up from the crown of your head. Now let's try the breathing. As you breathe in, rise up a little bit, and as you breathe out, sink down a little bit. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. One more. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Now as you breathe in, bring your arms in front of you about shoulder height, and as you breathe out, let them come down by your sides. Let's try it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now let's bring your one arm over your head and one arm out to the side, palm up, and look toward the extended hand. As you breathe in, bring your arms over your head, and as you breathe out, sink them to the other side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. And bring your hands to your sides. Bring your hands up through the middle of your body as you breathe in, up over your head, and breathe out as you bring them down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out. Last one. Now bring your hands up in front of you about shoulder height, and as you breathe in, you bring them back to your shoulders, and as you breathe out, you push them out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. One more. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Bring your hands down. As you breathe in, we'll bring them out to the side, and as you bring them down, you'll breathe out. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. One more. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Now we're going to bring our arms out to the side all the way around as you breathe in and rise. Down now through the center of your body as you breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. And that was the last one. Let's finish by breathing and standing. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Last one. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and sink. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the program.
So next up we have Pia States, who's going to do some sound healing for us. And Pia is a hospice and palliative RN who uses a form of sound healing by creating healing sound frequencies and applying tuning forks on and around the body. She's been doing this kind of energy work for the past 6 years here in Chico and in the Bay Area, and her work is based on the philosophy of improving the body's energy flow to help maintain balance and good health. So here we'll have sound healing with Pia States.
Hi, my name is Pia States, and I'm here today to present a type of sound healing where I use tuning forks. I was presented with a tuning fork in Wilbur Hot Springs about 6 years ago. I'm not very musical. I love music, and I've had sound baths. And I really think anybody who's had a sound bath really can feel the power of sound. Even a musical song or something can just profoundly affect us. And this is really what sound healing is about. It uses the harmonics. The harmonics work on different parts of our bodies, and that's what I do with my tuning forks. So I was presented with this tuning fork at Wilbur Hot Springs. And somebody came up and actually just banged it and put it on my chest. And it started to vibrate. And it is so relaxing that I thought I needed to know a little bit more. So this was about 6 years ago. In the meantime, I've counted that I have about 72 tuning forks. All of them work a little bit different. So I'm going to explain the different ones and how they work. Solfeggio are the first ones. Solfeggio are nice and colorful on the table. They represent each chakra in our body, each energy center. So the root chakra, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, and the third eye. And they all tune into those frequencies that have been found to be in these centers. So if for some reason we're out of balance, each chakra actually has both an emotional and a physical part which they affect. And so if you obviously have a sore throat, you would probably use the throat chakra. If you have a hard time speaking truth, or just have a hard time, you're anxious, you can't talk, the throat chakra tuning fork would be something that you balance your frequency with. So you can do a complete balancing, that you swirl these tuning forks along the chakras, and after that you should be more aligned. A lot of people feel like it's very relaxing. They hear the sound by their ears, and then I apply them around the body. So we have the subtle body, and that's where I use the over-the-body tuning forks. That's the solfeggio. Then I use something called the Fibonacci. They act more on the emotions. They're very good for addiction, to get rid of addiction. You kind of get into an altered state of mind. They bring you into this deep state of like theta wave of your brain, where you're not sleeping, you're not really awake, but it just brings insight to you. You get into that state where everything else kind of separates, and you can get, I hate to say it, messages, but insights, and that can bring healing in itself. So the solfeggio you also do over the body, a lot of sound. The ears, for those who know what binaural sounds are kind of the subtractions of the frequencies that go from one ear to another. So the brain subtracts it, and it becomes a very low frequency that we can't actually perceive with our ears, but the brain perceives it. So the theta is usually around 7 hertz, which we can't hear, but the brain perceives it and puts it in us into this pretty deep state of consciousness where we can relax and maybe heal within. So those are the Fibonacci. They can be pretty magical. Some people have wonderful experiences, sometimes even out-of-body experiences. Others just feel a total sense of relaxation. And like I said, addiction is something that we use the Fibonaccis for. Then we go into the harmonics. Harmonics is really what sound healing is about. So it's all about the piano. We have all the tones, the C, D, E, F, G, A, B. The piano also has those little notes, but they can go in higher notes and lower notes, but it's still a C. So those frequencies you can use in combination and make protocols. Protocols in the sense of the sequency of when you use which tuning fork. They too are kind of around the ears and over the body tuning forks. So they work on the subtle body. And they can be really good for insomnia, anxiety, just aligning your neural system, and also for addiction and grief and other emotions. But there's a certain frequency and how they kind of one, like the F actually has a tendency to kind of shake, like get into a different gear. So if you're stuck somewhere, you may need some some soothing and then an F to kind of chuckle it, and then you can move on with something that is more fiery, more a frequency that moves energies. So that's kind of how it works. So those are really the harmonics are just over the body. I showed you the Om tuning fork that I put on my chest. These are body tuners. You cannot really hear them when I do this. When I put them close to the microphone, you can hear them. The harmonics, I'll just give you a tester of what that may sound around your ears. And you can just sweep the body. Either I just kind of sweep, or you weave the body, or you swirl. But it just feels good to hear these sounds for the body. And it's actually the F, the D, and the C. So it's the frequency of divine creation. So how awesome is that? Okay, so to the body tuners, you actually put them on the body. And I use now something called acutonics. It's based on Chinese medicine. And we use them on the meridians, on the acupuncture points. So similar to an acupuncture needle, we vibrate on those meridians and the acupuncture points. And they stimulate the points just like a needle does, but it's obviously non-invasive and can be good for people who don't use needles. Those are also a little bit more interesting because astrology comes into place. The frequencies that we use with the acutonics are based on the planets. So astronomy, astrology a little bit. We know how a planet can actually energize us, like the sun is very energizing, heating. So you wouldn't use something like that on somebody who has an inflammatory process going on. You would use a planet like the moon that is calming and cooling. If you're stuck for some reason, you need something more mobilizing. Mars is a planet that actually moves things. It's very powerful. But you can't just jam it and use Mars right away. You kind of ease into it, and then you try to use those tuning forks on the specific meridians. So say you are having emotional problems. You're kind of stuck in this sacral chakra. You want to loosen up things. You would do, the Chinese medicine uses kind of the contralateral points. So foot and hand are usually used, and then you use the different points. So using those planetary tuning forks can be so powerful. And for me as a nurse, I like to be able to be a little bit more specific. The other forks can be more of what you put the intention into. So I always say there's no healing without intention and attention. The intention is to make things better, but also to have the attention on that point, to have the attention on your patient or client. And that's probably key to everything. So when I do my treatment, I have somebody on the table, I lay them down. I do have a vibroacoustic sound lounge too. So the vibration will go through the body. I start my session just by clearing the outer aura with sound. And crystal bowls can be the ones that we see on the floor when they play them, but these are manual ones. So I can actually ding it, and I can just sweep it over the body and around the ears, and it can be very soothing. So this one is the sacral chakra. I use all chakras, so depending on what is more needed, I use that tune or that crystal ball more. But that's what I use to kind of first just initiate the session. And in the end, usually people are so relaxed, they may have just kind of gotten into that state of, I'm out of here, I'm somewhere else, very, very relaxed. But you have to, at that state, you have to ground somebody. They can't get off the table without being grounded. So obviously I use the tuning forks, I can use them on certain points, but I also use just a root chakra, a Tibetan bowl. And you can kind of swirl that around the body, over the body, at the end of the foot, around the feet, and just around the throat, all the chakras, and that grounds them. So that feels good too. And then before they get off the table, I make sure that they take time to rest. And then this is actually a koshi chime, very wonderful to just listen to when you're in that relaxed state. So it's a koshi chime. It's actually French, is made out of bamboo. And you just kind of clear the body, around the body. And then you get to lay down and wait for a little bit and then get up. And usually people feel very relaxed and think, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to stand up. And when they finally stand up, they actually feel more energized. Things are moving. The body has just, the meridians are moving, flowing better, and you actually feel energized. And luckily I do too, because I get all this like secondary. So yeah, try it. It's one form of sound healing, and it can be very healing and bring insight. Thank you for listening.
And you know, KZFR is people-powered radio, and we can't do that without your support. So if you can, go to the donate button on kzfr.org and send us small amount of money or a large amount of money, and that'll keep us going in these times. So thanks for doing that. And next up is Malama McNeil, doing a talk on self-care. And Malama, many of you know, is she's lived in Chico for 40 years, and she's a native of Central Valley, and is now retired. She worked as a manual therapist during the time that she worked, as a family caregiver and a doula for the dying. And I also happen to know she's a gifted poet. As a community elder, she now offers virtual circles for practicing skills for self-care, soul tending, deep listening, and the counsel way. So here we have Malama McNeil.
Soft belly breathing. Soft belly breathing is just one of many forms of relaxation. It's a basic skill for resilient self-regulation of the central nervous system, benefiting physical health, emotional fluency, and mental clarity with regular use. It forms the basis for an array of mind-body self-care skills and will nourish their use and their effectiveness. It's also profoundly easy to learn and to practice. I'll guide you into the practice, and while you continue, I'll share some information which may encourage you to practice the skill until it becomes a new wellness habit. To begin, either sit in a chair which supports your body in a relaxed way on the ground, or you may choose to lie on your back with support for your bent knees and perhaps your head. Now, if you can do so comfortably, close your eyes, or alternatively, let your gaze be softly unfocused. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose, allowing the breath to flow into the bottoms of your lungs. This is aided by softening your belly, letting your belly expand with each breath in through the nose, and relax with each breath out through the mouth. This naturally deepens the breath and improves the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The increased volume of oxygen in and CO2 out begins to relax your nerves and your muscles. In through your nose, out through your mouth. With each breath, think to yourself soft as you breathe in and belly as you breathe out. The out breath is naturally just a bit longer than the breath in. Soft, belly. If thoughts come, let them come. And then, just as easily, let them go. Each time gently returning to soft belly breathing. Soft belly. Now continue for several minutes, noticing as your body softens as you breathe into the belly and relaxes as you breathe out through the mouth. This pattern of breathing actually balances activation of the two aspects of the autonomic nervous system, allowing you to be both alert and at ease. Practice soft belly breathing 2 or 3 times a day, anytime you notice feeling tense or stressed, and at bedtime, especially if you have trouble falling asleep. Each day you can add another minute or 2 until you're practicing for 10 minutes at a time, or longer if you enjoy it and you have the time. You may find, as many do, that you increasingly have time for the practice as your tendency to be in a state of urgency melts away with regular soft belly breathing. If you find you become preoccupied with how long you've been practicing, consider using a timer, but not at bedtime, so you can sink into the practice. Soon, perhaps after a week or 2 of regular practice, you'll find that in moments of stress, you can take a few quick, deep breaths, think soft belly, and relaxation will come quickly, almost automatically. An alternative phrase to concentrate your focus in this deep, easy breathing is this moment. This, in through the nose, moment, out through the mouth. Continue now just for a few more minutes. Regular relaxation has impressive positive results for people in a variety of ways. Decreased levels of stress hormones, increased immune functioning, decreased pain, faster recovery from illness or medical procedures, decreased anxiety, improved mood, and easier access to emotional expression. Relaxation also helps us to gain perspective on every aspect of our lives, to engage in creative problem solving, to generate innovative responses, so we feel less overwhelmed. Relaxation enables us to discern what self-caring actions we can make in any moment, to notice if we're running on empty, so we need some nourishment, to notice if we are fatigued and so need rest or a nap, to notice if we've become restless or stiff and so need a few minutes of healthy movement or stretching. Sometimes we need to visit the toilet, have a good deep drink of water, or just go outside into fresh air and sunshine. If we develop the habit of soft belly breathing now and then during each day, we can begin to make improvements in our self-care. This will help us develop the ability to be relaxed during a difficult time, making it, by definition, no longer such a powerful stressor. As you continue with soft belly breathing, here's another mind-body skill for improved self-awareness. The body scan. Gradual inner awareness of the body as one breathes deeply has been shown to be effective as part of a program of mindfulness-based stress reduction that lowers levels of stress hormones, decreases anxiety and pain, and increases immunity. The inner journey we're going to take begins with the focus and relaxation of soft belly breathing and moves into active exploration, inquiry, and dialogue, increasing your body awareness, reducing muscular and nervous tension, increasing calmness and well-being. Drawing on your own inner wisdom for guidance, this inner journey may bring surprising, trauma-healing, life-changing discoveries. Again, settling into the comfortable, seated, or lying position, which provides good support for your feet, legs, and torso from below. Allow your eyes to softly focus on the area in front of you, or allow your eyes to remain closed. Bring your attention to your breath. Feel the breath coming in and out of your body. Allow the breath to become a little smoother, a little softer, a little longer. Allow your breathing to deepen. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Allow the breath to come in through your nose and follow it with your inward attention. Visualize it, feel it as it goes from the nose, down the trachea, into the bronchi at the top of the lungs, and into the alveoli, the little air sacs throughout the lungs. Let your consciousness follow your breath, and let your consciousness and your breath begin to flow into the blood which is moving from your lungs to your heart. And now allow the sound of my voice to guide you flowing, moving through your heart, through your bloodstream, into and through your body, to some part of you that is inviting you, that is calling out to you, to that part of you that is saying, "Come here, I want your attention. I have something to share with you." It may be a part you know well. It may be a part you have never given your attention to before. Just allow yourself, your awareness, to go there, trusting that this is the place to be for this moment, that your unconscious wisdom is at work for your well-being. Once you're there, look around, see, sense, what is this part? With compassionate curiosity, ask what you can learn here. What is the message for you? What can this part tell you? You may ask, what am I doing here? Is there something I could learn? If pain is present, you may ask, why do you hurt? Whatever your question is, whether it is formed with words or without words, express it and let answers come. Allow the conversation to unfold. Allow information to flow from this part of your body. Let answers, communication, information, words or images or memories come. Simply receive them. Continue this looking, listening, sensing, asking, waiting for and receiving responses. Now thank this part of you that's been responding to your kind attention, informing you. Thank it for what it's teaching you. Plan to return again if it feels right. Allow the sound of my voice to guide you back again to your heart. Pause there. Enjoy being in your heart. Experience the beating of your heart and the rhythm of your breath. Become aware now of flowing with your breath and of your blood, carrying your awareness back to your lungs. Be aware of the air of your breath, mostly carbon dioxide now, diffusing from the bloodstream into your alveoli. Be aware of the air rising through the bronchi into your trachea and out your mouth. Be aware of your breathing, of your lungs expanding with inhalation, of your body relaxing with exhalation. Allow yourself to become more and more aware of your breath, moving in and out of the body, in and out of the lungs, moving through the alveoli and through the bronchioles, the bronchi, the trachea, and out of your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Allow your awareness, little by little, to expand to your whole self, your body taking up space, sitting or lying, breathing, relaxing, feeling supported. And as you are ready, open your eyes, allow them to come into focus and sense your whole self present, here, now. Thank you. I want to thank my class members, Anne and Frank, Diane, Ileana.
Next up we have Gravy Brain. And most of you know that Gravy Brain is a funk fusion band. They've been playing in Chico since 2007, and they not only make awesome music, but they also make amazing comedy videos, including the award-winning Nibiru Chronicles, which make for some great YouTube video watching. They're a band like none other. When they are playing, they are Kevin McAllister on bass, Dale Price on drums, Glenn Tucker on keyboard, and Brian Gravy Asher on smoking guitar. So please give it up for Gravy Brain.
A radio station is much more than just its parts, its gears, its transmitters, its microphones. But more than that, it's the spirit of the people that make up the spirit of the station as a whole. I first realized this back in 1993 when I had just moved to Chico a year earlier and I began performing with a local band. That's when I met Jim Sharples, who was one of the DJs at KZFR at the time, or I believe it was known as the Mighty Zephyr, which incidentally is defined as a soft, gentle breeze. So Jim asked us if we would come down and perform live at the station, which at that time was located at 20th and Fair Street, I believe, and the room inside was just tiny. It was not much bigger than a walk-in closet. And I remember the control board and Jim took up pretty much a quarter of the room, and the drums, they took up the rest of it, which left only standing room for the rest of us. And I recall standing about 2 feet away from Jim and the control board, which is how tight it was. But Jim, he was just wonderful. He made us feel so welcome, and he encouraged our freedom of expression on the air. And I remember him just being so energetic and passionate about his work. That's when I really began to understand KZFR was supporting the community and connecting its people in a positive way. Not just through its DJ's abilities to play the songs you love, and some new ones you probably never heard before, but also its sincere intent to cultivate and nurture connection within the community. And now here we are many years later, and that connection has grown and blossomed into a beautiful, wonderful family. Is KZFR the greatest radio station ever? Possibly. But one thing is certain, KZFR has never failed to bring support to the local artists and musicians, myself included. And I really feel that KZFR is a wonderful, shining example of how to cultivate connection. And we cultivate that connection throughout our community. I can't think of a single project or band that I have been in that has not been supported in some way by KZFR, including Gravy Brain. And also Ancient Echo. Which included myself and my good friend Bert Levi, who was definitely one of KZFR's biggest fans. It has been said that a country can only flourish as much as its arts and music. So in other words, a community can only grow as strong as its connection between its people. And one of the best ways to do that is through the universal language of music and arts. And that, to me, is what the mighty Zephyr has always been about.
Well, that was great. And next up, we have Jessie Naomi, who is a songstress and mixed media artist who's been traveling to aid in the balance of world affairs through art, music, and the sacredity of water. And she is going to be performing a song written by Vera Bridges called Words. And then after that, we'll have Baba Kauna, who's you all know as a master teacher of West African dance. And he's also a disaster case manager with the Tsuchi Foundation. And he's a spiritual exemplar in our community. Baba has over 30 years experience teaching dance and dancing professionally, but he's best known for bringing love and light wherever he goes. So that'll be Baba Kuna giving us a talk.
Words are weapons if you have hate in your heart. Why you gonna throw stones that could tear us apart?
Hey there, community. Blessings around the world, just all of us. Don't know who's going to have the opportunity to see this blessed, gifted opportunity, and I'm saying that because I feel that way. Here in Chico, California, Northern California, I'm actually walking through the woods. This is an amazing park. It's called Cedar Grove. Man, believe it or not, I mean, she's loaded with trees. But anyway, with that thought and spirit, you know, I was asked to share in regards to space of awareness, of collective mindsets, of shifting positive energetics. Now, for me, a collective mindset is being able to hold a frequency collectively as a group of people and watching the amazement. I was blessed to spend time years ago in Bali. And in Bali, they have a day that is called Nyepe. And Nyepe is a day of silence. The entire island participate. So much so that even the police monitors the street to make sure that you're not talking. And also during that time, people are also fasting. So it's a collective mindset of people. And the reason why they have that day of silence is to shift the frequency on the island. And in doing so, it is considered to rid the island of low frequency, or some would probably say negative spirit. Now, I live in Chico, California. This is a beautiful place. It's a small town. And I often thought, how would that affect this community? If we all decided in this one small town to come together collectively to have a day of silence, a day of meditation, a day of peace within inside of ourselves, not anything hard or impossible to do, but with intentions to shift a frequency here in this little town. All things are possible. I don't ever give up on that. I just know the power of love. And when we walk into that knowing, not seeking love, not trying to find love, not trying to get love, but to know that that is exactly who we are. Not only who we are, but truthfully, it is whom and what it is that we are made of. And in knowing that, you begin to act differently. You begin to treat your fellow man, your fellow sister, your knowingness in that frequency. So therefore, I would say your cup runneth over. I mean, your cup truly runneth over in love. And I must admit, in my existence, in this physical, this person who I am today, I have never experienced that. I would love to know what that feels like. Even during the time that I would assume, possibly being in my mama's womb, that she was also faced with atrocities and challenges. I didn't even experience it there. Because sometimes in our lives, we get caught up into figuring out how do we survive every day? How do we manage to take care of our children and all of those wonderful things? So for me, I feel as though I've never experienced that, but yet that is available to us at all times. Being able to shift the frequency, being able to know that that is who we are. Now, what is interesting is that we have had, I feel as though, very poor representation of that. Stop for a moment. The camera had been on for a while. It's been sleeping.
Still recording.
Yeah, okay. And so we, by having a poor representation of that, meaning that we haven't had the appropriate demonstration. At times, I'm quite sure, I have been blessed to be amongst those who I felt as though was a great example for me, but on a continuum. Yeah, life definitely offered challenges and trials and tribulation, but if we, and when I'm speaking of we, all of us, can remove the blockages in front of us, the blockages that has allowed us to not feel adequate, the blockages of not feeling supportive, the blockages of just not knowing, of insecurity, doubt, shame, hurt, If we can remove those blockages out of the way and begin to act in our purity of hearts, we then can begin to see those things, quote unquote, low frequencies as a gift. All things I consider is a gift, even though they may hurt, they become very challenging. But when you open yourself up and knowing that love is who you are, that's all that comes to you. But if you're operating out of fear, insecurity, doubt, shame, hurt, anger, frustration, disappointment, all the time, you're beginning to put blockages and obstacles in your way to prevent you from acting in such a high frequency. So for me, this is what I love to share, and open hearts and mind, and in prayer. Every thought, let me just say this to everybody, every thought is a prayer. Every thought ignite in actions. The question is, what is it that you're thinking about, which means, what is it that you're praying about to actually bring about change on this planet? So I'm so grateful to have had this blessed opportunity to just take a little time out of this gifted day to tap in, to say, hey, love you all, loving you, I'm loving myself even more, because you're just a mirror reflection. So it is in love, so it shall be in love. Ashe, peace to your hearts.
Well, that was wonderful. We've come to the end of part 1 of our Uplift Community Festival. And I'm very grateful that you came and joined us. And I want to say thank you especially to Lee McKean and Diane Suzuki and Dan Carter and Bill DeBlanc and many of the other people that brought you this, and all of our performers, and particularly to you, the KZFR listeners in the Chico area, the foothills and beyond. Thanks for being here, and be sure to stay tuned for the next part 2 of our Uplift Community Festival, where we'll feature Professor Christina Woods talking about medicinal mushrooms, and more meditation and dance and music, and you'll want to be there. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you again.